Gosh, we are certainly living in interesting times, right? A lot happening on the international markets. Everybody holding their breath, watching what's the latest updates in terms of the tariff wars between the two biggest economic giants, namely US and China. So the question as business leaders and entrepreneurs, how do we stay calm and how do we lead with clarity through chaos? The necessary demand on courage and resilience. A reality for all of us in business today. So I'd like to share 5, I think, clear, relatively easy strategies that we can implement to bolster our leadership during times of uncertainty. So the very first strategy is to be the signal and not the noise. Now, what does that mean? During the crisis, panic is contagious, but so is calm. So as a leader, your energy sets the tone for your whole team. What we talk about, what we focus on, the overall sense of emotional turmoil, whether you either choose to get caught up in or decide to go the other way. So be the signal, clear, grounded, focused on facts, not just on fear. So a practical tip for me in management meetings is for you, the leader, owner, head of the company, to speak last. There was a brilliant book written by Simon Sinek called The Leaders Eat Last, also a management philosophy of Nelson Mandela, which always insisted to be the last to talk. So let your team talk. Let them air their feelings, their emotions, their fears. And what you do at the end of the team meeting, you take all of this together into a grounded message. So let's focus on the following. Strategy 2 is to shift from control to clarity. So you don't have all the answers. I don't know if anyone has all the answers. So your job as a leader and a manager of the company is to lead towards clarity of direction. And that means we need to be communicating what's our next step. So a practical step is to say, okay, so we've listened to each one of you. We all agree this is what we know, this is what we don't know. So let's agree on what our next step is going to be. So here's what we are going to do. Doiki, doiki, doiki. The third strategy is to make resilience a ritual. So resilience in management teams is not built in the boardroom, but it's built on daily habits with discipline and consistency. So that means to have a daily grounding ritual of some sort. Maybe start your day with a quick 10-minute, just check in with everyone. Where's the emotions at? It's an intentional session, like this is what we all agree that needs to happen today. Go around the table. What's going to be your focus? What needs to happen today? Is there any way that we can help and support you? The second one is a resilience check-in, a weekly resilience check-in. I call it a lion meeting. Let's review this week. What new issues came up? What opportunities did we initiate or identify? And what's going to be everyone's focus towards the next week? And I think, again, also create pockets of silence where there's calm in the company. Maybe a place where someone can just go and sit, almost like a Zen garden, where there's no noise, there's no interruption, and someone can just collect their thoughts. So away from the chaos towards the calm. The fourth strategy is to lead with brutal honesty but relentless hope. The best leaders in business balances transparency with inspiration. And I think it's important that we are brutally honest with our teams in terms of exactly where we stand. Don't sugarcoat anything, but follow then with a vision of what is possible. I recently sat in a management meeting of one of my clients, and that was exactly the agenda. the owner stood up and said, listen, this is exactly where we are at. This is our cash flow forecast for the next 2-3 months. This is what needs to happen. We need to solidify and close X amount of projects within the next 2-3 months. And I'm looking for everyone to put up their hand in terms of who's going to take what responsibility to make this happen. So again, it's about leading with brutal honesty, but with hope. Yes, I know it's hard. Yes, I know it's challenging, but this should make us stronger. So let's hold hands. Let's become stronger amidst the chaos and the challenges. And then finally, to innovate in the gap. Winston Churchill said, amidst the never let a good crisis goes to waste. So in crisis, reveals the cracks. It reveals the opportunity. So are we focused as a team to streamline, to reinvent, to reset, to pivot? So 5 strategies that I think can assist all business leaders out there to navigate their organizations and businesses through a very tumultuous time where there's a lot of uncertainty, yet a lot of these things are outside of our control. So best is we start focusing on what we can control and make sure that we make today count.